lose it. So if NaVi have learned anything from that match, you might see some very interesting plays, some very interesting attacks coming down right here, dislodging Shaiko, for example, from that pillar and allowing themselves an entry into the actual site.
Well, it's definitely going to be... I mean, okay, we're talking a lot about the possibility of this match. Everyone hopes it goes the distance. No one wants this to go as quickly as some of the other games that we've had today, because both these teams have very good performance so far. And, you know, you want this game. Sure, it's a best of one, and sometimes the arguments are always made in this situation that you're looking at who's better on the day, but you want both of them to be having a day today, right?
Yeah, you want Blur to go as insane as he did during the previous match, getting all those clutches. You want Doki to get every single entry he can try and fight, or at least contest that, with likes of Alems or Shaiko. And, well, you would like to see Bride back in his old role as well when BDS just got started. Basically, when BDS was still getting together, getting their synergy flowing, Bride was there. Clutch after clutch, game after game, absolutely carrying them over the finish line. As some would say, one of the best supports that walk Europe or even the Earth in Rainbow Six Siege. But we're getting underway. This laundry supply first, and, well, what other side to start it off with than with the famous Shaiko pillar, as we all call it?
I mean, that's it. It's a position that you've got named after yourself. You know that they're going to put in a bit of a performance there. You're looking at that 6th pick. That is a response to a Ying who is gone at this point. Good play removes the Wamai out of there and puts them in a slightly trickier situation as to what they actually wanted to bring versus what they've got to work with. But BDS can adapt. They're a team that is very good at kind of realizing when things need to be changed and how they can pick them up and move things around. So you assume they have their plan Bs and their support structures ready. We actually saw in NAL last night Ying counterplayed against...
I was actually going to say that.
Did
you see that?
Right?
With the impacts,
so
using them to destroy them. It's pretty smart because you can shoot them, as many might know. However, it's a very small projectile which rolls pretty quickly over the ground. So, you know, you might not be able to hit it in time before it flashes you. So just throw an impact. Use that 1.5 meter to 2 meters explosive radius to destroy it, because it just needs one hit, one shrapnel, please, to destroy it. So I thought it was very creative as well. You don't often see that.
Now, the limitation that not having those Wamai discs is going to be around places like that extension onto elbow. Round blue, it means that you can't quite dig in as heavy and as aggressive as you would like. Sometimes you'll see teams put that shield a little bit further up when they have the safety of ADSs and Wamai discs too, but seems like they're ignoring that just for now. They are doing a quick rotation around to Freezer. Shaiko and Alems look like they want to double up and make sure that they can keep that locked off as Nathan Doki go for the start of the clear. All across this top floor, they're prepping, opening up their angles and making sure they have a bit of a grip on the site itself. But all of the French bodies are, for now, entirely capitalized and isolated down on that basement hold.
You can see NaVi really knows how BDS plays these rounds, because look at how quickly they cleared the building and basically start on working, getting control onto the actual site. Sometimes there is a roamer present in attic or just in a kid's bedroom, for example. Now that's not going to be the case, as they're already starting to open up hatches literally as soon as the minute passed. And now Shaiko will be out of Freezer, will be back to the back stairs, hiding in Harry Potter, hoping to potentially move towards the pillar after. But it's Doki now coming down. Is he still there, or did he move towards the pillar? I'm not quite sure. No, Rafala's right there. Gets a little bit of a tag. And Shaiko now wants to come and challenge as well. That might be the first gunfight.
Yeah, Rafal is almost taken out of the equation, but you see Shaiko doubles up and tries to double down on dropping Doki, but he's still holding firm for now as he keeps this locked off, allowing the rest of his team to start applying the pressure to the other side. All of them set up for the start bomb Freezer, and obviously the main laundry hatch too. They're pre-firing angles and potentially going to pop a grenade round the corner as Alems holds it off, but with those burn, he can't hold it much longer. Blur finds the first through the hatch. That is every escape possible for Alems cut off. He has to dig in with this English shotgun and put all the faith that that gun needs to actually succeed. Another frag grenade is bounced around, another bit of pressure from the window. There's the first. Can't find the second though. Secretly has the pick up, and they have a minute to try and capitalize.
That's the danger indeed, but Shaiko will be able to reply, and that is Doki out of the question right here. Rafal able to land another kill as well. Secretly will drop, and it's only up to Saves and Nave right now. One on the freezer stairs, one on the hatch. They know that the shield is one that is currently being contested, so they decide to take it out. Explodes into a fiery bush of fire as Nave will be able to take down Rafal, though, bringing it to a 2-on-2. And look at that, Brede, still 3 smoke canisters left. Will be able to completely deny the entire presence from the freezer side, as it is only 20 left now.
They're going for an angle and a big rotation round to the laundry side by the looks of it. Hibana hop-footing it to see if they can find some other semblance of something to hold onto. Saves. Tries to lean through. Can't quite find the first. There's the trade. There's a split angle of a man on the second. Shaiko with a double. He's trying to bait them to swing round on the fire. Can't find it. And Brede puts BDS into the first.
There you have it. The smoke canisters forcing them to rotate out of the freezer and pushing themselves up through laundry and the hatch. Early working out of both the hallway and, of course, Kirby control are there for BDS. They have the opportunity to attack from 2 angles. Very hard to cover that one off. So, first round into the hands of BDS. That's the bottom floor secured. Now, up to the top. Going to kids' dorms. Wondering how NaVi will attack that. Potentially, we will see an opening coming down from Secretly, especially in Attic. That's often the presence that the Maverick has, as it is, of course, very dangerous to open up into that master bedroom. You have the opportunity to set up yourself a flank drone on the tower. Not so much for that bedroom. Often people may be coming from below, or at least that's the fear. Tossing up a C4, taking you down. So that's often where we will see Nave, for example, going to try and make sure that games will open up so they can attack from 2 sides, and maybe even from Trophy as well.
Wow, BDS read the defense that they needed to, and it was started by them being able to battle back. Dug in, obviously, LM's finding 1 on the initial swing round, and then you had Rafal backed up on the shield on the corner 2. Even though they lost the opening body, they were able to still keep a handle on where NaVi wanted to push themselves through. We saw, too, the battle between Shaiko and Doki highlighted on the desk, and I feel like that's going to be a thread throughout most of these rounds today.
And will definitely be, those two will be trying to find each other as they are the spearheads of their attacks and defenses, playing in the crucial positions, hoping to secure these important rounds for either team. Secretly, early entry into the tower together with Blur. Flying drone is being set up, taking care of the default cam as well, not giving any information away for free to BDS. That means that pressure down onto Attic will soon, there you have it, be established. And Secretly already starts opening it up, using that blowtorch early on. So the pressure is coming down as early as they possibly can.
Well, Shaiko's waiting for the approach via that long, treacherous corridor, but it's a Lems that opens things up, finds Saves deep underneath. Where was that from? It was, well, Medics is looking for it, and when even Medics is stumped, you know it's a surprise to the opponents because he can't quite see it, and he's got eyes everywhere. But Doki is steadily trying to learn where everybody is inside the classroom, waiting to see if anyone drifts a little bit too close to that walk-in wall to put them out of, well, NaVi's misery. They're 1 body behind, though, and look at this, the rotation round, potentially going to impact this and go for something a bit quick. They have the C4 if they want to get right underneath that entrance, but Blur is going for the rotation round to the top of Armory Stairs instead.
You gotta be careful though, the hatch is opened up and I believe that is currently being watched by LM, so Secretly we'll have to try and find out whether or not that hatch is gonna be safe to pass. It doesn't look like he will. Instead it's gonna be focusing down onto Shaiko, trying to figure out if he can catch him off guard, because if they would be, then suddenly, well, they think at least, Attic will be completely open, but still LM's down there. In the meantime, you also see 3 people of NaVi down towards the southern side of the map, but Doki potentially going for the white stairs. And the remaining 2 hoping to get a plant down soon. But Rafal still out here in security, hoping to catch one off. And that should be Doki in that case.
Has the hatch and has Kitchen to rotate and keep himself alive and guessing. And Doki can't quite find the lock in the read on where they are. A body down, so it's a risk to try and take these 1 versus 1 firefights because, well, it's entirely risk and reward. If you pull it off, you're back to even balance. You might force BDS into a more uncomfortable situation, but with only 40 seconds, whatever you do, you've got to do it fast. And Rafal seems to have eagle eyes and your number, NaVi. setting themselves up to finally try and make their way through the breach that they opened on walk-in. Can't quite get the angle on Shaiko. Oh no, wait, there it is. Nath gets one and secretly stopped at the Kid Storm's windows. He's trying to stick the plant on the opposite side, but another smoke comes down and he has to get out of there quick. 15 seconds, 2 canisters, one still in pocket, but Brede is swinging to get the one on the big window, finds one, can't find two, run out of bullets, and there it is. The rotation from Alems gets one. Post-plant situation. The cover is there though. Blur locks it off for NaVi. We are one apiece.
One apiece indeed, and it was very patiently played right here from NaVi, trying to wait, trying to see if they could force BDS into peeking them, because they were holding the angles, they were holding their positions, hoping to find themselves an entry, and as soon as they managed to do that, as soon as they managed to get the entry, they exploded onto the side. They're trying to get that plan down. They had the man advantage afterwards and decided to go for trades. Well, and then yes, LMs will be coming up from the back of the white stairs and they'll be able to take down Doki, who didn't really have a big impact in that case. But that doesn't matter, because you will know where he's coming from. You're in a 1v2 situation. The 45 seconds are on your side and you just need to hold off one staircase. And that worked out. Of course, we saw it go wrong in especially that staircase, many occasions in Siege, but this time they managed to win the round from there on, and NaVi now 1-1 as they are yet again going to have to attack the top floor as BDS is running it back.
Gotta run it back sometimes.
Sometimes you have to, as Sternab would say.
I was waiting for the Sternab pick up there.
CL against Secret back then. Clubhouse.
How did it go?
1v3, Monty post plant, thrown by a team kill.
There it was.
And then it was banned the game after because they ran it back. Didn't really work out. No. It still haunts every single Dutch person in existence that is a fan of Siege.
But, well, what isn't haunting either the French or the English generally? I know they've picked up a lit, but we've adopted them. Ours is both these teams' performances so far throughout the season has been great. The regions as well have been able to start showing up in aplomb, and I think it's one of those things where they're both very strong regions. They've had big national scenes for a long time. It's really kind of trial by fire. Huge amounts of talents, huge swathe of talents behind the scenes, inside the game, and obviously in the coach and managerial as well as player positions too. So it's good to try and see them at the top of their game, full pace, full gung-ho ahead. But hey, who is going to be the first head taken off today? Now, the pressure comes over the top yet again. Secretly is going to start burning around with Shaiko still buried in at the back of Attic. They have all of the rotation saves. This time he's able to land inside the building, find the top of Armory stairs to try and offer some countenance across the side of Trophy as Doki swings around aggro to see if he can get anyone on the door anyway.
Was playing very aggressively on the window earlier on. Right there, Shaiko gets a beautiful shot, takes Blur out of the equation right here, and that brings it yet again into a man advantage here for BDS. But last round, we saw that it did not per se have to matter, because NaVi was able to bring it back. NaVi was able to bring it to a 4-on-1 situation there in the end. We were able to win the round. It was the same side. Do you see it? Hibana trick actually coming in, making the wall soft and shoot. Yeah, there you have it. We'll be able to be destructed by Doki if he actually moves in, or Sophia, that is on saves. That allows them to go for a breach there.
Doki dropped, was it through a drone hole by Alems? Drone hole, one of those deaths as he follows the blood trail away. Bon anniversaire, he says, as he puts him out of the misery of BDS. They now have a 2-body advantage, and they have all of the control on most of the map. So Secretly has to creep his way. Knows he cannot really take that fight against Shaiko alone. Not without that Malusi halfway down. Not without the support and structure they still have there. Nath is trying to keep him isolated from the bodies inside Kids' dorms. So we can start to see the potential of Secretly finding the pressure inside the site there. But we know how Shaiko likes to swing on angles. So Nath can't play this too hyper aggressively. Flashes over the corner as Secretly has actually opted to try to rotate. They're going to take the risk, take the gunfight, and hope they catch it, and they do. Big kill, but with only 40 seconds, they've got to turn that into a bit more than a big kill.
Yeah, they're going to start moving now, and Nath will do exactly that as it picks up the head of Vincere. That's the evil eye gone. Only one left on site, and it's going to be Brede. inside the bedroom. He's going to get pinged out. They have to go for a pusher. They have to go for a play. And NaVi, he's ready to go for a plant. Lems, he's already below with a C4. They have the opportunity to try and cancel out that plant. And surely he's going to be trying to toss that C4 into a nice little arc to try and stop it, but it's not necessary. As Bride will go down. Lems with a double kill with the C4, turning it into a 1v2 situation. It's only up to saves right now. There's no way that he's going to be able to clutch this out. Doesn't even get the first kill. And Lems with a huge round right there. Able to pick up 2 from the Nitro and able to finish off the last one as well. Saves desperately tried to get the kills.
So when Doki was dropped, we cited that they still had a huge amount of map control. BDS were pretty comfortable all across the board, and we saw Secretly go and try and apply some pressure elsewhere, and then couldn't find anything. So instead, they went, well, let's try and go for the gun on Shaiko and keep him isolated in this position. It worked. They went to try and build from it, but found themselves stuck because of the threat that was present underneath. Obviously, the C4, well, it locked a double in that sort of situation. It's always a happy moment. But with the fact we doubled down there, we're actually back in laundry and supply already. Warden is the reverse 6th pick this time. I guess they're saying, well, go on, bring Ying, and we're ready. Okay, no, we're going to play it off.
Really have to give credits there to Secretly shot onto Shaiko there. Was checking the right-hand side, rather, of Attic instead of the left-hand side behind the half wall. And as soon as Shaiko stood up, he instantly got his hat shot through by Secretly. So a good flick coming down there, making sure that they had the opportunity to push. Unfortunately for NaVi, it wouldn't last. The C4 came in and ended their dreams as they got a double kill. Now BDS back onto the basement floor. And well, you might say, all right, 1-2, BDS is leading. Yes, but 2 rounds is oftentimes enough for the attacking team to go over to the next round. And so far, they have the opportunity to still go for that. NaVi already picking up 1 after 2 rounds. That is pretty good.
Now, if we're going to talk pretty good, we've got to highlight Lems already on 7-2 after 3 rounds. Obviously a player that's very familiar with the UK scene from the history that he's had with Secret. So, you know, he's versed in the plays, the aggro and the swings that they do like to do. And obviously when he was first on BDS, and when he first joined this roster, he was a big force. He was perpetually and continually pulling them together and bringing them back up and elevating a team that was already pretty high. So for him to start this game on fire, well, that's a very welcome sight in the BDS camp.
Definitely is. Will be securing themselves at least that 3rd round in the hands of BDS. Let's see if he can give more. If he can make sure that more of the early rounds will be heading their way whilst the rest is still waking up a little bit, maybe. Renshiro, often called Mr. Consistent, not really having the impact so far yet. Very iconic to see. Also, Shaiko, so far, 3 kills, 1 kill per round. It's not often what you see on this map either. So NaVi is definitely putting up some good pressure against BDS and definitely making it hard for them, as they probably are not as comfortable as they normally would be.
They're still applying some quick pressure pace here. Nath doing the Hibana work they needed to. They found their opening through that hatch before, but this time it seems like they're going to focus a little bit more of their attention on laundry first. They're keeping themselves a bit of a distance from the possibility of a quick swing round up Freezer stairs. They know the ferocity that that shotgun can hold with it. And Lems, well, he's keeping a close eye on any of this attention that falls his way. ADSs and Wamai discs start to get burnt. Remember, they didn't have that last time, so they've doubled up on the support and possibility of the hold. There's the grenade, though. Comes up around the back stairs, and look at what it removed. There's 2 more. Get out of there, Lems. You gotta find a flea. Sees the head, but the cover is there and Secretly can't catch the fleeing Frenchman, tail between his legs, but he survives, and that's a big gun set to keep in their corner.
That's the most important one, that he manages to survive right there. Lems is going to be able to walk away, still has that shotgun, still has the SMG available to him. And I believe he'll now be playing in elbow. Currently a position that is not really being put under pressure in any of these rounds that NaVi have played so far, and thus they decide to keep it open. It gives you another angle to work with. It gives you another place to play from. And as long as NaVi's not putting any pressure, surely there is going to be no reinforcement locking that one off right there. And now NaVi, they have control of Freezer. They're starting to push from the laundry as well. Is this going to be a laundry take that we're seeing? Also, in the meantime, Secretly is going from the back. They're literally taking it. So Doki's on site. Hello. Doki able to pick up a double kill right here, pushing through to the actual cubby. And it looks like they have laundry control now as well. It's going to be a 3-on-3, but the time's running low right here. Only 9 seconds left, and it's only up to Shaiko in a 1v3 clutch situation. NaVi Trying to get it down. 45 seconds on the clock right now. Not even.
Doki's on site. Hello. I think is both what you said and probably what he said when he arrived from a...
Say hello to my little friend.
Just dropped electric and applied the pressure, realized that all of the focus was on Laundry, and just before that all started to kick off, I was going to compliment the use of smoke canisters in the hand of BDS, who held them until he needed them, waited, and played them perfectly in terms of the push on Laundry, and then, hello, Doki's on site, gets a quick double, lost on the trade on Elbow, but at that point had already done more than enough to shake up what was otherwise, I guess BDS thought, their round 2-2.
I was going to say, we do not often see very successful takes coming out from Freezer and Laundry. We very often see the elbow backstairs push. That is normally the one that results into wins on this site. However, NaVi, they decided to put all the pressure down onto Laundry and onto Freezer. They cleared it out, they took control, they forced them out of their positions, and maybe not have expected Doki to just drop down the hatch and suddenly enter himself into the site, taking down 2 key members on that BDS hold right there, only leaving Shaiko left in the end. That was playing from the elbow side. So BDS really were hit by surprise right there. Very well played by NaVi, I have to say. Good read. As you see it on the replay here again. Suddenly he's on site. I didn't even realize until I was like, is he above or is he actually on site? Because he's literally in the middle of site.
Couldn't find a death earlier, but his pace at finding Doki as the needle in the haystack, supernatural powers. I know I've said this a lot about Medics, the Croatian sensation. But he is sensational, and here is Doki, who wants to go with pace for the first time. They're going for a blue take, and the first time it's successful. Doki is already in sight, almost breaking on the door. Nath is the one that's going to take up the mantle of the angle as they try and find some cover from the other side. Shaiko dancing around the pillar and applying some pressure from deep, but hey, there's Saves doing his laundry and picking up the bodies too. Shaiko finds secretly and drops a body, but blurs a trade, and it's trades all apiece. Suddenly only Renshiro, a player, hasn't quite found a true impact into this game yet, and won't this round NaVi. Oh, they're trying to speedrun that round.
Look at that. No, okay, this is a tactical genius move, Fluke, because for the last 2 times they were attacking the basement, they have been putting heavy emphasis down onto Freezer, down onto Laundry. Now, they managed to win it the last time around. So what do you think is going to happen if you're BDS? You're going to think, all right, we're going to go there again. We're going to put one more guy towards the Freezer, maybe one more guy towards the Laundry, because that is what they seem to push the entire time. And what do you do then? You just rush the side because they have no clue that you were coming in. And if you manage to get the shot down onto BDS instantly, round 1. Really smart play.
What's going on, Nath?
I mean, I think that's also what BDS was thinking at that moment in time.
Oh, honestly.
I think it was a very good summary because suddenly they're on the side. And suddenly, NaVi actually 3-2 up. Very good so far. Good attacking health, and they have the opportunity to make it 4. And look at that, we're going basement again. I don't think we're going to see another rush, but BDS is definitely going to be spread out now.
I think it's a bit of a clever play here to go Laundry. I know you're looking at 2 round losses in a row, but the full expectation from this point from NaVi is probably, Dorms potentially, is we're looking at them maybe trying to lock it off on a site that they were most recently successful on. It's been back and forth, sure, but 2 losses in a row on a site, 2 very different manners of approach. It can make things shaky. However, obviously, if Doki hadn't have been able to get away with the drop on Electric, which, however it happened, if that was a story that went the other way, the round itself could have very easily gone the other way. So that's what BDS, I think, that previous round, that was a bit of a wake-up call.
It definitely is a wake-up call. Suddenly they're all outside. All alarm bells should be ringing. They should all be wide awake right now about what NaVi is looking to do. They're literally making them fall asleep, right? All right, we're doing the same take twice in a row. Okay, well, let's go for a 3rd time, and then suddenly the explosions start happening. NaVi is literally on site within the second. Now BDS, of course, have already realized it's not going to be another rush. It's way more calm round as NaVi check in for any potential roamers, for any late flanks that could be coming down. Surely soon we'll realize that is not going to be the case, and literally everybody will be down onto the site, which is going to be helping them because that will allow them to set themselves up for their execute again and possibly allow Doki to go explosive yet again on wherever he wants to go.
Well, he's putting pressure onto the back stairs and making sure that the tower falls into his favor and allows the support of steadily mavericking through all of the hatches they need to. Secretly does most of the electric hatch and then rotates around to the laundry side too to offer the support from the push from this angle. They're getting pings on shields and places held, but as I said, BDS well, probably much more attuned and awake to the possibility of wherever NaVi might be. They're a team that can step up the clarity when they need to, and you know that they most likely will. So NaVi, they're testing waters. They're dancing around slight angles and corners, trying to just find that first shoulder they can put bullets into and get a claw into the site itself. As soon as he hits these barbs, 2 angles are going to swing onto him, so he knows he has to play this pitch perfectly.
Doki again trying to find a pick right here, hoping to push through. There's only 60 seconds left. He is crucial right now. If he manages to find Shaiko, if he goes wide, that is the opening kill. That is going to be the call sign right here for NaVi to try and push in, but it's Vincere to fight back. It's Vincere to take down Doki, and thus NaVi will have to slow down again. They have to find another pick before they can finally explode onto these sides, and they have 40 seconds to find it.
Well, Blur is waiting for a bit of a misplay here. He's hoping Alems goes a bit too broad and bold and wide, expecting the pressure from Tower, but look at saves on the opposite side, sneaking in. Brede gets saves, Blur gets Alems, and Nath finds the body balance for their favor. Brede rotates round to apply the pressure onto Blur, but Blur is actually hopping a little bit further away. The grenades bounce round the corner. He's not going to swing so intently, but this leaves Rafal under the pressure of 2. He just goes for it and gets dropped for his troubles, but Nath is going to try and stick it with the cover that's no longer there. A triple for Brede now as Nath goes for that kill, but 7 seconds and no way through. 3-3.
Made an optimal rotation hole right there, and he tried to run through, but it's not possible. He had to crouch. And when that happened, he got picked up. You saw the last second switch coming down right there from the cover that was there. Wasn't able to find the guy down into elbow. Because of that, had to be forced off of the plant, forcing them to go back into a gunfight. And, well, that was a 3v2 situation there in favor of NaVi, but no information on the guy on elbow whatsoever. They tried to run past. They knew there was a Banshee. Took it out with the grenade, but, well, there was still Brede. Brede managed to clutch the round and gives BDS that 3rd round, which otherwise would have been the 4th for NaVi, and that would have been detrimental going into the second half.
Blur potentially believed that nobody was on the elbow site, or thought that the frag grenades might force them a little bit further around the corner. I'm going to compliment the way Brede was playing with those smoke canisters. Just the positioning there as well really brought them back into the round. Took up the mantle of a dead man and made sure he could get some pretty vital revenge that just put the pressure back on the bodies inside sight. Was able to then swing back round, drop the man that was the cover on the planter, and led BDS back into the hold of success. But a 3-3 on Oregon, often cited the reason it got picked so much when it was first added to the map pool in its new form was the balance of the map. It didn't really heavily sway one way or another whilst teams were still learning it.
True, a 4-2-4 defense or a 3-3 split was something we often saw. We find ourselves with that 3-3 split, which gives a slight advantage, I must say, to NaVi due to how the game is naturally favored towards the defense. The time is a 6th man, you can almost say. And you try and play around that resource. Try and make sure that you waste as much time as possible. And Doki exactly doing that in the big tower all the way on T3. He's going to be trying to waste as much time as possible. It's hard to challenge that. As soon as he makes himself known, you can almost guarantee BDS is going to be trying to hunt him down with 2 people.
They've stacked a lot of attention up here on blue, on elbow. They're looking for the rotation and the pressure that they can put towards secretly and saves. Blur's offering some support there with the jammer to make sure that that wall doesn't get popped open so easily, but it's going to be the pressure here that comes against secretly first. Saves desperately looking over the top of those barrels. An early smoke is popped, potentially to buy some time for teammates to rotate back around and offer some support. We can see, obviously, a recalibration of the stack up that they're doing. Secretly pulled away as all of that goes popped around the corner and drops another drone, but it's Alems that goes first. Doki, wherever he is, up in T1, I believe, got one. Secretly got the drop there on the Ash that tried to charge through. Vincere is down around the corner. They're concerned of the possibility of a swing round here, and the canister doesn't quite catch Vincere.
There you have it. BDS trying to force themselves massively throughout the blue side of the map, but it's not going to be working out. Oh, grenade actually catching secretly on his feet as he's walking past. Will explode him, I must say, and turn it back into a 4v3 situation. However, Vincere still low. You got to keep that in mind. The reinforcement just came down as well. They're not going to be able to pass through that anymore, and thus will be forced to go down pillar or through electrical. And as Vincere is trying to pick a gunfight right here, he is only one bullet away from death. He's only one bullet away from bringing this back to a 4-on-2 situation. BDS luckily has some Excaros left. They'll be creating a line of sight, maybe even a rotation if he's feeling like it. And Rafale pushing from the laundry stairs. They are trying to go for a split push, but I don't think it's going to work.
No, they just got caught on the camera at the last time. They know he's there, and now they know he's all that's left. And there's Nathan, who decided he wasn't going to wait for the fight down below. NaVi, they put themselves propped up and stacked BDS in front of them and said, well, you're not coming in this way, lads. You got to find a different route. The first body dropped in the tower, I believe. And from then, BDS, unfortunately, were back footing a little bit.
Well, we say how often we see the takes coming out from blue and from the big tower stairs, right? Doki waiting at the top floor, potentially caught off the member trying to move at the actual stairs, hoping to cut down pillar like that. Because there was one member playing at the electricity door, right? Like, he was trying to shut them down as they try to walk in, actually managing to take a lot of damage right there and even got it down. I believe it was the job of Lems who could take him down first, or was it Rafale? I'm not quite sure anymore. Anyway, whoever it was potentially supposed to go down from the back stairs, hoping to cut down that angle. But because Doki was on T3, he was able to catch him off and make sure that was not going to happen.
Yeah, that was the big difference, I think, that we saw between the holds of BDS and the hold there of NaVi, was BDS were fully enforced down below. They set themselves up with full 5 bodies stacked across that floor, and sure, they were ready to put fights at the bottom of pretty much all of the stat sets that Oregon offers, but it allowed NaVi to set themselves up above. 2 different styles of holds, and NaVi, well, they won that fight above. The difference is, the next time we go there, are we going to see BDS adapt a little more and put focus and attention on some clarity of the bodies above? If they had the trade set up for Doki, and they might not have found themselves so pressured for the possibility of time.
I just don't think they knew where Doki was. He was hiding all the way in T3, and, well, if you don't drone it out, it's really hard to actually find out. And the way to get a drone out there is either to toss it through one of the windows, but that costs you so much time, and who in their right mind would be roaming up in T3 when you're in a basement defense? You know what I mean? Like, they probably did not expect it. They probably never saw it from NaVi. And NaVi knew, all right, they want to take the backstairs control. They want to shut down the Pillars player, which then allows them to push into blue without being challenged. So they try and push from there. Doki is there, however, shutting them down, and suddenly the whole plan is just no longer working for BDS. And that's it. If that is a counter strat, it is a really good one.
Well, BDS is heading up to the top of the tower and making sure he doesn't get caught by a run out so far. It's steady is the clear this time, and that still hasn't caught the hands of NaVi as of yet, but they're still clearing. Still loads of time to play with, and a lot of map left to get control of. They're making sure they don't suffer, as you said, the same way as before, and get caught unawares by a single roam that, well, caused a lot of problems. But for now, they seem happy and confident with themselves to pull up inside small tower and start putting pressure onto the site itself on the double window. It's a lot of focus also paid towards the armory side too, as Shaiko is putting pressure underneath, but no NaVi bodies are going for the push just yet.
They don't have to. All they have to do right now is just hold off. There's still 1 or 2 roams on the board here for NaVi, who have the opportunity of try and reach from their backs, and Vincere will be able to pick up the first kill. Frag grenade landing underneath the feet of secretly. It's going to be starting things up strong, but look at Nave. He is still in a position where he could go for a flank. Look at Doki. He is coming down, actually, but will be taken out by Shaiko himself. And that is a good advantage right here for BDS to work with.
They were able to strike on the site itself. It forced some of the play from the roamers to make sure they capitalize in time. Nath is still out there and swinging via the kitchen. If he could pull something off here, it's big. Saves, holds his trigger, and it's at the cost of blur. There it is. There's the fight from Nath around the back stairs. Puts bullets in. They can't quite find each other. Goes with the pistol and finds it, but BDS, in the meantime, is planting the diffuser. Saves, gets dropped inside, and there it is, a post-plant situation, and they know where he is, but they're not gonna let him get any further. BDS 4-4.
Managed to bring it back right here after 2 great entries really coming down. Vincere with the grenade, very important kill. Then Doki, he was going down for the flank, hoping to attack them as they were in the middle of their execute. Managed to be shut down by Shaiko. Doki and Shaiko, the 2 players we highlighted, who we said would be coming across one another quite often throughout this match. And well, surely they have been, if not been keeping track and was actually leading on the other. However, it is going to be 4-4. The teams are very even right now. And well, NaVi decide to go kits and dorms yet again, as they just lost it. Small mistakes, might think that they have a way to quickly fix it. If that's the case, they decide to run it back.
Wow, the adaptations here, they're bringing a little bit more control of the potential space. I'm curious to see if we see both bodies of Nath and Doki outside on the roam. There was obviously the initial blow was dealt right to the heart and the core of the site and the hold secretly. Grenaded from underneath, pitch perfectly timed, unfortunately, for NaVi, as he's blown before he could even begin to use those canisters. And you think of the tight angles, you think of the push potential, and you think of how you can kind of long throw those and hit those very delicate, very tight plant corners that are the 2 default pretty much places on this site. Yeah, there's no operator you kind of would want to lose that early.
Really don't want to lose anyone early on. That is still a gun that you are in need of to use in this, well, very, I wouldn't say frag heavy, but there's a lot of fraggers on either side. Everybody can just play out of their mind. You need every single man, every single gun that is available to you to secure these rounds, and thus, you gotta make sure that you are the ones to find the entry so you can play for those trade games. We'll try and give them away. But it's a 50-50 you take in the first gunfight.
I think one of the best things about this game so far is everybody feels like they're showing up. And everybody is contributing to the games. Everybody is bringing themselves in the firefights. Because, as I said at the beginning of this, regardless of who takes it, you want these 2 teams to be firing at all guns. If anything, just to prove to Reaper that this region can shoot back.
Oh, this region did shoot back. That wasn't A that couldn't shoot back. It was just about strategy for EU that was lacking, apparently.
Which is the best at everything, I think.
But from what I've seen, NaVi, so far, pretty good reads on whatever BDS is doing. Managed to win 2 rounds on the back of that. One was that rush. We're not talking about the Doki dropping hatch, but about the round right after. And the other one was the defense on the bottom floor, where they realized BDS really wants to go for the back take push, and well, completely messed up by Doki from T3. Anyway, 90 seconds left on that clock. We still have one of the members of NaVi down below, roaming, hoping to go for a little bit of a late flank. Vincere is having a grenade ready to toss up to that ceiling. He's not going to be finding anybody right now, so no kill this time.
And this time it's Blur that's taking up the mantle of the roam as the other 4 bodies stack themselves further away from the danger zone of those frag grenades and the double window. Alems actually finds the first fight against Nath on the main door in the lobby, and that's going to get fed to the BDS team that are otherwise stacked up on the back of Zulu corridor. It's a close angle, but he's able to find a bit of a rotation around Classroom. Alems has gone to the side of Garage, but they don't quite catch him. He drops down, and that is very important because that is time wasted and time pressure and concerned, not sure where he's gone, only that he is, and that could come back to haunt them. A trade goes through. Rafal finds Doki, 2 puts the body balance back in BDS's favor. Alems finds Nath as well on the rotation. Blur catches 1 coming up the stairs. The smoke canisters of Secretly, I said they're important, and this is them in use now. Stops what was going to be BDS entirely flooding onto site and gives a bit of breathing room as the other one falls to the top of white stairs. Really allows Blur to reposition. Alems suffers. He is eager. They want to push this advantage whilst they have time, because these 30 seconds now that have gone by could have been them winning the round. He's close. He drops the diffuser for a triple. He's waiting for his 4th. The Secretly locks off the top of the stairs. Blur buried under the window, sees the head, can't quite get the legs, and it's Blur with a knife.
I was so anxious to watch right there, but I was going to say that smoke canister tossed up to white really saved him right here. His Blur is just crawling, hoping that he's going to be able to land that kill. He found himself in kind of a awkward situation as soon as he missed his shots with the roadie. He was like, oh, okay. Plan B, plan C, we're going for the knife kill apparently. As NaVi able to lock it out nonetheless. They found themselves in a 2v4, I believe it was. but we're able to lock it out. Blur with a great kill down onto, I believe it was White to start things off with. Then we had the smoke canister coming in right there from Secretly onto White as well, making sure that all Blur had to do was focus onto that big window with the P10 Roni. And so he did. And so he managed to land a round to get rid, of course, his smoke, his Secretly. And thus, NaVi now find themselves 5-4, and they're only 1 round away from securing 1 point against BDS. And as we said at the start of today, BDS, they are ahead. They are ahead, yes indeed, but just by 1 point. So if NaVi manage to get an overtime winner, we're either backdrawed up, equal numbers, or if they manage to win normally, there's going to be a 2-point lead for NaVi.
Nath finds his way back on to the clash. As the 6th pick, it was the bait at the very beginning, and they played off of it this time. They're doing the response and the revenge of that. I do love the cross angle there that Blur set up. It was like, we can do a cross angle, you're in kids, and I'm underneath the window with a knife.
I'm a living Frostmat.
I'm the Frostmat.
That's basically what he went for.
Imagine if they still had the Super Shorty.
That would have been a slaughter. Oh. Just wait until the jump in, just blast him.
Mozzie with the Super Shorty. Them's the days.
Oh, the good old days. Unfortunately, no longer.
Now he just is the
Press
Super
F
Shorty.
for the Super Shorty.
All right,
just castle now.
That's it. Renshiro applying the pressure as they try and pick something back. I mean, you know, you'd be a fool to think that this is in NaVi's hands. It's been back and forth the entire time. In fact, there's only been 2 successful rounds that have been threaded together by one team. It was a NaVi on their attack half, and well, it's just otherwise been entirely back and forth. But was that turn in the kind of hopes, was that turn in the play and turn in the rhythm of who is that 1 step ahead going to be what carries NaVi all the way over to the end? Either way, they're seeing if they can be a bit more stoic this time with their hold on that ground floor. But look at the adaptations from BDS, much more spread out. They're putting a lot of attention towards the rest of the map. This is what I said they probably would do. They knew that they suffered from Doki up on the floor above when they entirely focused down, and then they tried to say, well, it's 4 in sight and 4 us, let's push. They lost that fight too. This time they're not taking that risk. They're making sure that they're cautious about the clear that they need to do, and well, so far, I guess they're all still standing, so that's a better success than last time.
New Gemmer still up there. They need to get rid of that, or a foul will have to come over with, of course, the blowtorch to try and put some pressure down onto the laundry hatch. And yes, of course, there you have him. He's going to be trying to take care of that Mew Gemmer. NaVi, you see them fall back already. They know that their position is no longer holdable inside of laundry. And so right now, that hatch will also breach. Brede, with that diffuser, is looking to decide, okay, where are we going from? Are we going for the back push? Are we going for the B-bomb side? Or are we going for the A-bomb side? Because everything is opened up right now. All that requires is a pick for us to try and snowball off of. And as one of the concussions already being used, Nave not really taking any point of damage, and that's both concussions used, so Nave is really going to be an issue now.
That's it. When you're looking at this time, you're looking at that clash and what she can do inside Freezer. It's just going to make any of the pace that BDS love to apply when it comes to their push a little bit less poignant. But Alems is still going to swing around the corner here. There's the sight of Clash. Doesn't quite catch the corner of her. Is concerned of the pop around the corner. But Blur's waiting and drops. No, doesn't. It's the frag grenade. It looked like he got the head there, but didn't quite catch it. Instead, it's Shaiko that finds saves, and Doki gets a very important revenge. But there is pressure, and there is a blaze of red and blue kills in the top corner. It's now suddenly just the Clash, all alone and swinging in every possible angle. Brede is going to try and stick it, but he doesn't have to, as yet again, we are level.
5-5, and I was going to say, Clash is going to be a problem. Didn't really turn out that way, because Shaiko, I believe, pulled the exact same trick as Doki did. Drop down the hatch and go for frags. Yes, he was refragged by Doki in the end, but he already did some damage and allowed the rest of BDS to find themselves an entry as well. And suddenly, the man count tipped into their favor, and we're still up on 5-5. We're still on even ground, and as we are going back to that basement floor yet again, Blur, look at that, 12 kills so far, really having a good match here for NaVi. Doki also having very big impact, running on the 8 equally to Shaiko.
I think that's it. As I said it before, it feels like everybody is putting themselves into this game. There's nobody that is, for my money and for how we've watched these two teams over the season so far, having a standout, insane game to kind of highlight them. against it. It's not like Blur from the other day where, sure, you know, NaVi put in a good performance. There's no denying that. They took the win in the end. But Blur put in such a last 4 rounds that it was like that scene from Simpsons where they push the other adorable sheep out the way because you just want to look at those 4 rounds. You just want to look at the ace clutch and then the 2 other clutches. Nobody's having that moment yet in the game. It's just back and forth. It's blow for blow. Everybody's stepping up and stepping in and learning from the rounds, and it's making it a very fun game of Siege.
Making a very fun game indeed, a very back and forth game. It's not any of the 7-1s that we've seen so far today. No, this one could be going to the full 15 rounds as far as it's going right now, unless NaVi or BDS, whoever it is that reaches the 6 mark first, is going to be able to chain up 2 rounds in a row. Make sure that they are going to be the ones to walk away with 3 points right here, not try and share anything with the opponent. Mind you, NaVi, if they take 2 points here, then we find ourselves back with both the top teams on even scoreboard. So we could still have a sprint race to the end, so to say.
Well, it seemed like they were dabbling with a bit of a higher roam there, but I think they've quickly read that it's the same push that they just suffered before, not the one that BDS did on their first attack where they entirely dedicated themselves, one on tower and the rest on blue. No, they're going more spread out and they can't play wind to the sails as they did before. Nath is going to hold Freezer Stairs, saves, is making sure tower is under his control, watches a drone go up, tries to get the drop on it, but can't quite make it happen. They'll see the rotations. As you can see, it is being droned fervently by BDS. They know what cost them this before, and they're going to make sure they don't pay that price again.
NaVi trying to be careful, trying to be patient. They need to find themselves the opening pick. They need to find themselves a hero play. As BDS is trying to set themselves up, they're yet again doing the same thing, opening up the hatches, trying to divide the attention, hoping that they could be going for a surprise play, surprise burst into the side, allowing to pick up 1, 2, maybe even 3 members. And NaVi, they are the ones that have to try and stop it. They are the ones that have to try and identify where it's coming from so they can lock it down. But 80 seconds left on the clock. BDS is spreading themselves across the map. They have literally someone above every single hatch. It's Rafale now, the first one to take damage, and Nave follows up right after.
Yeah, the drones are still working in overtime. You got to realize there's a lot of time here for them to try and facilitate getting that first kill. It's when we find ourselves sub 30 seconds, they got to start putting the pedal to the metal, and the Lems is making sure that they're aiming for that target finds. The first against Nath here, as Blur is the one that's stepping up to try and hold the mantle of Freezer, but it's Doki that actually gets the kill from deep, swings round to the laundry entrance to offer some support to Blur as well, who was obviously caught last time by the grenades that bounced round the corner. Shaiko eyes the possibility of going big, getting electric and dropping there too, to see if he can put the pressure that he applied before, just to allow the rest of BDS to move in his wake. There's the 30-second mark, there's that kill, and there's Shaiko looking for the drop, finds the kill before he even hits it, and now it's a 4 versus 2. Blur goes for the swing on the kill onto Laundry 2. There's the grenades we talked about as the pressure before. It's Bride that gets dropped by Doki on the opposite side now as he swings aggro. There it is. Doki finds a triple and puts themselves alone against it, but it's a quad for Doki. He is heading out of there upstairs. Rafale has to find the diffuser. He's going to play around electric, waiting for the movement and the momentum, but it's a timeout, and it's a Doki round.
Very well played here by Doki, able to pick up 3, then finding the Ash as well and deciding, right, it's time to run. It's time to run away from this mess and make sure that we win the round on the back of time. There's no way that he's going to be able to grab that diffuser from the likes of Elbow and go for a plant. That convinced of the fact that Doki wouldn't be on the side and does a round that looked like it was BDS's with a 4-2 execute in the last 30 seconds. Suddenly turn into, well, Doki killing everybody and running away. Now evening the score right here with Blur, putting them up to 6 rounds. That's 1 point already for NaVi. And they are the ones, the only ones here in this matchup that have the opportunity to go for full 3 points.
The first team to take BDS all the way, and the other closest was a Vitality in the opening playday where it was a 7-5 BDS. They've at least suffered more today than they have on any other day, but as I've said a couple of times in this game, this one, I don't think it's over.
I think this one is over either. This could just as well end in a very quick push from BDS right now. Quick replay here from Doki, heading that first shot, very important. alleviating some of the pressure down onto Blur, allowing him to stall out a little bit longer as well. Then the kill onto Shaiko, basically sealing the deal, allowing him to run back up the stairs. It was very dangerous, actually, that he did that, considering the position of Rafal, but I don't think he was watching the staircase in that moment in time, giving Doki the availability to run up there.
No, they were full focused on where Blur was, and luckily Blur was able to survive for as long as he was. He dug it in on that corner, and he made it a problem to get him killed. They had to rotate a little bit deeper than they otherwise would have. Obviously, usually you'll see teams apply the flat pressure all the way down long corridor, but where Blur was, slightly further around, slightly able to survive, and pulled them slightly out of position for Doki to strike big. But as we said, 6-5. It's not over yet. BDS, they've stepped up plenty of times before. Saves under a bit of pressure in T2 is droned out, and there's another drone, and no, I'm just not going to play that game. As he rotates slightly further down, he's going to hold himself just shy of basement and dancing around the possibility of pressure across meeting and T1 if he needs to apply it. But BDS, they're not in a rush.
Playing the game of how many drones can I bait to try and chase me down as he stays active near the tower. Now we'll fall back towards pillars, hopefully make his way over to Freezer as he is being hunted down right now. It seems like they are aware of the fact that he is all the way downstairs, but the Lems, instead of hunting him because it might cost a lot of time, decides to put down a Claymore. It is a time solution. They are in need of time. They cannot use two people now to try and hunt down saves and potentially lose people, so they're hoping to cover him off with that Claymore, at least slow him down, as the rest of BDS hoping to knock down the top defenses. As NaVi taking a lot of damage right here, but he has a vertical to play with. That could be coming in very crucial here for NaVi.
Yeah, he's dug in and applying that pressure up above him as a Lems starts trying to clear along Zulu. A C4 is wasted and blown, doesn't quite catch anybody else, but Blur is waiting for this confrontation, doesn't quite catch it though. They're both well aware of where each other are, and nobody puts the full scare on the other. Saves in the meantime, is able to rotate his way back up the stairs and quickly goes back down. No, caught by Rafal on that Overwatch, but he might not know that he's fully down. Now he does. He saw the glimmer on the hope and waited for the reload. There's Shaiko above. Doki gets dropped too, and now 50 seconds, all eyes down on the site itself. Blur is getting aggro. He's looking towards the opening hatch, towards the meeting. He's swinging round, and he doesn't. He does. He thought he missed him for a second, but it's over there. Blur dropped by a Lems on the back of Zulu. Natus rotated back underneath. 30 seconds, secretly the last man on the site itself.
They've taken down the Claymore, has the opportunity to go for a great flank here as the plant now going down. Surely the call should be coming out as secretly he's trying to hunt down one of these members, spots out one in the showers, but it's not going to be able to hit him. NaVi, however, just too late on stopping that diffuser. That turns it into a 1v3 post-plant situation. I'm not sure if there's any vertical control. It does look like indeed that's the case, but it's not necessary. Rafal will be taking him down from the likes of the stage, and all that is going to be extending this show for a little bit. We're going to overtime. We're going to try and find out who's going to be the team that takes away the win right here. CLM's trying to hype up the team right there, banging the table, starting to talk. You see how vocal he is. He's trying to get the team all into one page, trying to use the momentum that they just managed to potentially build up in that round, hopefully carry it into the next.
Well, I would say, would it matter who starts on attack and defense? But for prosperity's sake, it is NaVi. They get their defense first in their handle, and I suppose the fact that we've just come off the back of theirs, this gives them a little bit of that grown momentum, that idea of, well, we've been playing it, but in the same hands of BDS, well, they've been playing their attack, and they've got the most recent round win. Not that it matters much in this game, because it's back and forth the whole way, but every option is reopened, and they've gone with Dorms as their possibility of putting themselves, yet again, one step closer to locking it off.
It's all even now. It's a best of 3 sprint race to the finish to decide who will be getting the 2 points and who will be getting the 1. Both, of course, already secured one of those points. Just looking for the final one that is still to be given away is Breday's drone. It's spotted there by Doki. He's potentially looking to go all the way up to T3 again. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just hiding up there again.
That's it. Not
yet.
Oh, looking for some hyper aggression here, hoping someone's there. Nobody. They've entirely gone on the opposite side, going for a pretty flat clear here, the same way that they've played this a bit before, where they steadily lock down the small tower to make sure that their pressure on double window isn't superseded by somebody shooting them in the back of the head. The rotation possibility of white stairs has been a constant for them too. They know where they want to get control first, and they've been pretty consistent in how they've applied it, but as we remember last time, it was close to the wire. It came down, as I said, to secretly Smokes being able to buy enough time for Blur to get that rotation and put themselves in a place to capitalize upon the final 3 bodies. If he gets dropped off first again, as he was the first time we were here, well, that could spell success for BDS.
Could spell success indeed. NaVi, they won this on the back of a clutch. They are not looking to do that again. They have to be the ones that have the initiative in this round. They have to be the ones that get the entries, because otherwise BDS, they're not going to be making the same mistake twice. Did see that when they were on their defense themselves. And as Rafal now using the Gemini replicator, he's trying to drone out, trying to get some information. Does not come very far as Blur takes it out right as it enters the big window. And Doki almost lost his head right there from the close angle, but he's not afraid of peeking it anyway.
Blur is in the middle of the room as they start blowing up all those rotations. Bullets follow the man as he finds his way into the kid storms, but he's still standing, and that's the big problem right now for BDS, is they're going to bounce this grenade and see if they can catch Doki. That could be a very big kill. Renshiro's calculating, and the maths almost comes through for him. Doki survives, scratched and so beaten, which is going to make the firefights he loves to take a little bit more dangerous. Nath on the deep roam, going for a bit of a big rotation, potentially towards tower, see if he can catch anybody out on that side, as the concern is still being built and paid. No. Consistently rotating and finding new angles of ingress. Could push kitchen, could push open, or could head up the tower and put some pressure from the back windows. It seems like kitchen is the option he's taking. Can he catch Renshiro?
It's constantly on the move right there, and BDS is well aware they have people on the flank watch. They have people just waiting, as Shaiko puts up a very aggressive claimer, hoping that one of the NaVi members is going to be trying to peek aggressively down onto whites and pick someone up on the likes of that. Stoke, he's playing very deep, but next to the window, he is quite low. He has to be careful. That's a C4, but it gets sniped out by Shaiko. Not able to find a kill as of yet, but Doki will go down. That's the entry. 20 seconds left right now. BDS, it's your move.
They're in, and they're trying to stick the diffuser, but it gets dropped from the deep, and it's now suddenly a 3-3. There it is. The rotation's coming through from Nate. He's going to apply the pressure up the back of white stairs. One slips past Blur. No C4, but he's dug in, and he can't quite get Renshiro. He slips on past the diffuser, still cold, and with 3 seconds, they're going to try and fervently pick it up. There's a drop from the other side. The man's down. Just find the planner. There he is, NaVi. Clutch it off the back of a rotation and a roam, and once again put themselves 1 round away.
1 round away. They have the second opportunity of winning this matchup. And Nave on that roam, absolutely deadly. Coming in clutch right there at the end as they are trying to push on the side of BDS. Decides to just come up on the white stairs, take down Shaiko, take down the diffuser. Not give BDS any chance to retaliate. And now, 7-6 is the scoreline. Yet once again, we're on a match point for NaVi. Look at that, 12 on Nave, 14 on Blur, 12 on Doki, 12 on Shaiko, 14 on Alems. So many people hitting the double digits now. I wonder how many more will during this game.
Can BDS do what they've been unable to do for the entire game and thread 2 rounds together? I know, it seems so impossible for a team of that caliber. That is just how this game has gone. Or NaVi, can they replicate what they were able to pull off before? Or are we just going to keep ourselves dancing back and forth until it's a full 15-rounder and we find finally one successor to this continued story? BDS back down to the basement, back down to laundry. As we've seen, this was a bit back and forth. 2 wins in their defense and 2 wins in NaVi's attack. Who is going to be the one that finally pips this point to the post and puts themselves either over the top or back in it one more time?
The very interesting side to go to here from BDS, especially given the ways that NaVi have attacked it. We've seen Doki dropping down the hatch, getting down to triple. We've seen them rushing through blue, absolutely demolishing BDS and their setup right there. Are they going to be taking it slow on the likes of NaVi, or are they going to be risking it? They are the ones that have that buffer. They are the ones that can still lose 1 round, mind you. It's BDS that can no longer afford any mistake if they still want to win this matchup. NaVi doesn't seem to be taking the risk, and, well, rightfully so, as they hope to make sure that they will secure it in their own methodical way, trying to slowly outstrap BDS rather than outpush them.
Now, I think that's the first time we've seen Rooney on this hold as well, going with the adaptation of the control of the hatches and utilizing it to open those rotations. Obviously, a heck of a lot of utility in the hands of the right team, and it will give them a bit of an idea and a beat on the push that's potentially coming through. Secretly is opening up the laundry hatch as they did before. We had a bit of an explosion before, and as Saves keeps the cover to make sure nobody gets a little bit too eager, he returns to open up that soft and make sure that they can apply the pressure they need to. Doki is alone on the backside, but Nath can go offer some support once he's done droning out Frieza as he's just opening his own rotations. It's concern across all faces of the hold here as they look like, once again, they're going back for that blue laundry take.
NaVi want this so much. They want to be in charge of EUL. They want to be the leading team, and they have the opportunity to secure that. If they manage to get the win here, if they manage to get this round, they are the ones leading. They will be, after a season long of being stuck in 5th place, in that 1st place finally, and grenades are being tossed in, but they're not finding anybody yet. There's 75 seconds left on that clock. It seems like the blue Frieza take, rather, is being set up here for NaVi.
I made that mistake before. Everything's colored blue, but this is a Frieza take and a laundry take, as I meant to say. And, well, that is where all the attention is being focused, trying to clean house inside as well as the clothes. But Renshiro pulls back and keeps himself ice cold between the border of Frieza and Long so far. NaVi haven't been able to find the face of anybody to apply the true pressure that they want to, and it's getting tighter and tighter and closer. We've already complimented Bride on the hold that he's doing, and that is the question. What is Doki up to right now? Because that has often been the start of the push. The force is all stacked up. There it is. There's the Gemini that goes down, caught by the body behind Pillar. Looks to try and apply some revenge. The Aruni is burnt, but 30 seconds. Whatever they do has to come now. Renshiro is finding the fight and drops it to a double from Blur. Puts the pressure. There's the drop. Rafal with the C4 gets one and none more. There it is. Nath trying to stick the diffuser around with Saves offering the cover, and Blur with the split onto Frieza post plant as they swing up. Saves gets one and retreats out. They're going up to the hatch, but Rafal has rotated round the top of open. He knows that they're there and holding it, but Nath gets the fight and the fire, and Blur gets the game for NaVi.
Look at them right there. They're absolutely screaming it out. Beautiful execution coming down. Blur getting the opening. Blur getting then the second opening. Yes, of course, they do strike back on the likes of BDS. They do take down your complete backline near the blue take, near the backstairs take, but it doesn't matter because the diffuser was already going down in that point. And as soon as you get it down on the exact same spot where they did get it down, you have the hatch to use for that vertical play. NaVi are your leaders in EUL right here. They did manage to beat BDS, who look so unbeatable throughout this entire stage so far, and NaVi are the ones